Latin squares can look very basic. They are in fact a little more complicated than they look. Latin square designs are often overlooked and not used as often as they should be, even though they can be very efficient when they are being used the correct way. Latin square design gets its name from the fact that we can write it as a square with Latin letters that correspond to the treatments that are given. Latin squares are going to have two different blocking factors, and how these blocking factors are set up will determine the information that you get out of them. If you set up these blocking factors in different ways, you will have different outcomes from this Latin square design. You can have Latin squares in many different sizes as long as the sides are equal and the number in rows and columns correspond to the number of treatment levels. Latin square designs can be used in a numerous amount of ways in the engineering field and can actually be quite efficient if they are used correctly. Most people would think that a Latin square design can only be used for something simple, like a Sudoku puzzle, which is a good and fun way to use them, but they can be applied in more serious ways that can help us complete tasks at work. This slide is showing a simple example with how a Latin square design can be used in the engineering field. They can be used to test many things in engineering and in other lines of work. This example in particular is showing how the different number of machines work with different batches of materials. This can help show and find out which machine and which different batch material is the most efficient and which set should be chosen for the project. This slide is showing all the equations that are used to figure out different aspects of the Latin square design. You can find the sum of squares, degrees of freedom, the mean square, F naught, and p-values for some of the different sources of variation. Each source of variation has different components that they use, such as different sums. You can use these different sources of variation to help determine a certain aspect that you're looking for in your project, whether it be how a certain product being produced by a certain machine, or how efficient the material or the machine is. There are many different ways that a Latin square design can benefit an engineer, and I believe that this should be used more than they actually are.